What a blessing it was this year to be an Ohio State Buckeye and compete in the Big Ten. But going into the national tournament, currently I have 3 broken ribs.
Both of our jaws literally dropped. I was like, what? What do you mean 3 broken ribs?
The feeling of going through the whole season to not be able to perform at the end of the season honestly just hurts way more.
Your identity doesn't lie in the wins and in the losses, so therefore you can focus on more of why you're doing it.
No result can ever truly fulfill you the way the desire for Jesus does. Welcome back to another episode of the Fishback Frontline Podcast. I'm Dylan.
And I'm Caroline.
And we're the Fishbacks, and today we are going to take you through where we're at in life right now and the season of wrestling and everything that came with it. So let's get into it. Okay, so for starters, we're just going to talk about, when life doesn't go as planned and things don't go the way we plan them. And for me right now, if you're unfamiliar or not sure where we're at with our story right now, I just finished up my technically 4th season of college wrestling, and it's kind of crazy, honestly.
Yeah, it is crazy.
It's my 3rd year competing in the lineup, 3rd year competing at the national tournament, and this year I was on a new team at Ohio State. What a blessing it was this year to be an Ohio State Buckeye and compete in the Big Ten. But going into the national tournament, currently I have 3 broken ribs, and that is honestly kind of crazy. So yeah, the national tournament didn't go as planned, and I actually got injured. You could say quote unquote injured, because I didn't really think it was an injury. I mean, I thought it was an injury, but it was like, okay, it's the national tournament. It's the week before the national tournament, so I'm not gonna, sit out the week of the biggest tournament of the year. Like, we worked all season for this. But going into the tournament, I really was unsure how it was gonna play out. Especially the limits on my body, because I know leading up to practice that week it was really tough. So yeah, things did not go as planned. The tournament didn't go the way I wanted to. But we found out the week after NCAA's.
A couple days after we got back from NCAA's.
Well, yeah, I got an X-ray a few days back. Nothing came back somehow on the X-ray. And then a couple days later, got an MRI and found out I had 3 broken ribs. So we were honestly shocked when that happened, right?
Yeah, both of our jaws literally dropped. I was like, what?
Yeah.
What do you mean 3 broken ribs?
Well,
because we had figured it was some kind of muscle strain. You have lots of muscles in your ribs. We're like, yeah, it's probably just pulled muscle, which hurts. But then not just 1, but 3. So that came as a surprise.
So let's talk about some of the expectations, I guess, going into the season and just into nationals. For both of us, I'm sure we had different expectations. For me, I obviously expected to have a really good tournament. Expected to, in my eyes, my standard, my expectation is to win the national tournament, to be a national champ. That's the goal I've been working for really my entire life. But it's hard when you face challenges, face injuries that don't go according to plan. Everyone has challenges they face, adversity they face, especially throughout the course of a season. But I'd say I expected to win. Even with an injury, I really believed I could still do it. I could still figure out a way that God would give me the strength to do it. And obviously it didn't play out that way. But if you watch how I wrestle, it really affected me more than I even thought. Going into the tournament, it affected me way more than I thought it was going to. I don't know how I felt, really. At the tournament, I was telling myself that I could figure it out.
Getting injured at the end of the season, it kind of is really bad timing, which you can't control when you get injured. Injuries happen when they happen. But at the end of the season, you've been working all season for the tournament. You're not just going to not wrestle. Unless it's something now, if you had found out about your broken ribs before the tournament, it could have been different, just because wrestling obviously isn't good for broken ribs, because it can lead to other serious medical problems. But you've been working this whole season, you're not just gonna not wrestle. So it was kind of I feel hard timing.
What was your thought process going into the last 2 weeks of the season? You knew something was wrong with me. You knew I was injured, but obviously you're really supportive. But what was actually going on in your head? Yeah,
well, it's interesting because obviously I see you when we're just living day-to-day life. I see you all the time, and I see how you act and how you're you really were in so much pain. And like, I remember you had told me the week before Big Ten, or no, the week before NCAA's that it was the worst injury you've had all season. You know, you've had like a couple things here and there that like have been bothering you, but like I know you're like a pretty tough cookie, and I know you have a high pain tolerance because I've just been around you so much. And so I was like, I know it's something is up, but I did not expect it to be like that serious. I expected it to be like something like more
manageable.
Well, I also, so going into the tournament, I knew that you were not yourself. Yeah. I knew that you weren't feeling well. Like I knew that you were in a lot of pain, even like you weren't even wrestling the week before the tournament, and that's telling because it's like you don't ever like skip practice unless it's for something like. Well,
I was trying to like serious. Minimize as much. Well, because also, like me and my training staff, like we all thought it was muscular, and when it's muscular, it's like, okay, you can kind of just fight through the pain. Like, okay, let's minimize how much I'm using it.
You want to feel good going in.
Yeah, that way like, I feel good going into the tournament, but.
Yeah, but then, so when we got to the tournament, like your first match, like I can just tell when you come out. It's funny, like when you come out, within the first couple seconds, like you can kind of tell like how you're feeling, and also knowing how you were feeling. Like from talking to you earlier in the day, I was like, I could tell you were hurting, and then it's
I didn't take a single shot. Really.
Yeah, and obviously, like from the way you wrestle, you didn't wrestle like you did all season long, and you could tell like that you were just in so much pain even before you told me you were hurting. And so I was like, going into it, I was nervous for you in the way of I don't want you to make it worse because I believe your health is more important than, you know, like you want to be healthy. You don't want to have something like a serious injury if you can avoid it. But also at the same time, I know I was praying for you to wrestle the best you have all season. I just wanted you to be healthy. And so I was a little nervous because I didn't want you to like keep making it worse. But also at the same time, it's like I fully believe that God will give you the strength to compete. And he did. Yeah, he did. Like you didn't, you know.
It wasn't the result I wanted that, you know, we were praying for, quote unquote.
But you still competed and you are still healthy. Like, you know, you just have a 6-week recovery, and that's honestly probably one of the, like, you know, a bone injury versus like a muscular injury. Like soft tissue takes way longer to heal. So honestly, it's a blessing that it's bone and you can get back and be there for the whole summer. It's also nice that
my ribs weren't displaced where it could actually puncture your lung or...
Yeah, you don't need any surgery. You don't
not
need,
even that, like, just like pretty cut and dry. It's just, okay, now...
It's not fun, but it's the best case scenario for an injury, I think.
Yeah, so the season didn't end the way I envisioned or really planned. Neither of us planned it to go the way it did. Obviously the result, but getting injured kind of sucks. Especially the timing of it sucked, and especially it's easy to say, God, why now? Like out of all time, I had such a healthy season, and then the last 2 weeks, the most important time of the year, you know, where our sport is, it makes or breaks your season. Basically, everything comes down to the last weekend of the season, regardless of what you did during the year. It's like, God, why right now? I think that's it's so real though. It's like, why now? But I've obviously we've learned a lot from it already after the tournament. But yeah, it was tough to go through for sure. It's still tough to process and go through. And I kept saying after the tournament, like, you can't process it all in a day. You can't process a whole season in a day.
It takes some time.
We've been learning a lot this past week.
About what hurt more, the injury or not performing the way you wanted?
It's an interesting question. What hurt more? I'd say at the time of the tournament when I didn't know I had broken ribs, that's honestly, now it has clarity. It's crazy how God works when he reveals things to you you can't see until later. It's like now, if I knew I had broken ribs going into the tournament, I would have probably looked at it completely different. If I knew it was a bone break and it was like, okay, I can't like figure it, like this is probably not safe, or you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what would happen if I knew the injury, the severity of it going into it. I may have wrestled even worse, or I wouldn't have thought about it as much. But the injury itself honestly hurt a lot. It was like I have a high pain tolerance, and you've probably seen some of that. Is like if something is wrong, Like if there's pain or an injury, it's like something serious is usually wrong.
If it's bad enough, like
if it's bad enough to
serious.
like bother me in the way I compete or do, even when I'm not wrestling, usually if I get an X-ray or an MRI, there's something that comes up. And so knowing that, I was like, I think something's kind of wrong, like seriously wrong. I'm not sure, because it's kind of weird. It's like you think it's like your chest, your ribs, whatever. But the way I felt after the tournament, I honestly felt like I underperformed. And that's what really messed with me and bothered me, because I think at Big Tens I underperformed too. But looking at it back too, I got hurt the second match of Big Tens, and then it was like
the rest of the tournament.
But I was putting basing my performance off like my result, but also the way I wrestled wasn't great, wasn't the way I wanted to. So at nationals, especially after my first match, I was like, dude, that was terrible. That was like, I almost lost the match. In my eyes, I didn't wrestle anywhere near the level I see myself. And then after my second match, I was like, okay, this is like really frustrating, because like basically a match I almost won during the regular season. Like I really should have won it, but I lost at the last 10 seconds of the match. I wrestled the guy again, and it was like not even a close match. And I'm like, dude, okay, something's off. Like I'm operating at 50% right now. Like whatever that percentage may be. And so I guess obviously the injury hurt, but the feeling of going through the whole season to not be able to perform at the end of the season honestly just hurts way more, because it's like, well, I put in all this work, and I didn't get to show it the way I wanted to. Whether you're injured or not, it's like if you're not injured and you don't perform, it's still just as frustrating.
Yeah.
It's
a tough sport.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to do it.
Yeah. I don't know. I know I'm kind of rambling about it, but I think, how'd you support me? You know, especially like you said, I wasn't really, myself in a way. How do you support someone when they're not really themselves? But it's like, that you kind of have to encourage them, especially like me during that time. What'd you think?
I prayed for you a lot. I prayed for you, like seriously, I prayed for you like all day, every day, because really? I know how much hard work and time and energy you put into wrestling. Like I see it every day. And I know how bad you like just want to wrestle your best. Like I know you want to enjoy it, and I pray that like all the time that you would like enjoy the sport, because like that's the whole point sport, is like if you're not enjoying it, it's gonna not be fun, and therefore you're not going to perform well. If you're enjoying it and you're healthy and you're wrestling well, like obviously that's the goal. But knowing that you were hurting a lot, I was just praying that God would like give you strength, that he would heal your body, and just being there as like a listening ear, because I obviously can't offer a lot of like wrestling advice. Not that I really want to anyway, because I feel like that's not really my role. Like you have coaches for that. I have nothing really to say about wrestling. And obviously after watching you for the last like 2 years, I've picked up on a lot, and I can tell a lot about your wrestling, but like more so just like being a listening ear of like how you're feeling and what you're thinking and what you're going through, and just letting you bring things up and talk about it when you want to, and just trying to be like understanding and comforting in whatever way I can.
No, I think you did.
And like even just being like after the tournament, you got to come and we got to hang out, which was cool to just like be in your presence. And I feel like just being around you was probably encouraging, I could imagine.
I'm sure you could tell after the tournament I was a little distraught, but I was also in a lot of pain. So it was like, well, it's over now, so like what's the point of dwelling on it? But now currently, I mean, you did a great job honestly encouraging me and supporting me. I feel like that goes a really long way, really. But I think the hard thing for me, well, now it's like I said, it's over, so it's not that big of a deal, really. I've been saying this too, that even if I won a national title, it would be awesome, right? I would love it and enjoy it. But then, we're now like a week after the national tournament currently is when we're recording this, and it's like, okay, on to the next season. Nobody really cares that you won a national title I mean, yeah, some people you might enjoy it for a week or two, or even a couple months.
You definitely would.
Yeah, like I would probably be celebrating with family and friends, still being like, oh, that was awesome. But it's like,
but at the end of the day, it's not going to fulfill you. And it's not, you play sports to win. In every sport, like, there is a winner and a loser. Yeah. You cannot avoid winning. Winning is inherently a part of sports. Yeah. But as a Christian athlete, your identity doesn't lie in the wins and in the losses. And so therefore you can focus on more of why you're doing it. And I think a lot of the times that's because you enjoy it and because it brings glory to God, and it's fun, and it's God's given you this talent and this platform to do it. But ultimately a win is not going to fulfill you. Yeah. And like a win is also temporary, short term. It doesn't last. Like the high of a win will wear off eventually. Yeah. So
it's also interesting. I know we've talked about it, but even this week, not just a win, but even a loss doesn't define you. Like, I'm sure people hear that all the time. Yeah. It's like, but your result really doesn't even define you, whether it's a win or a loss. Like a win doesn't fulfill you. And it's easy to praise God when you're winning, but even a loss can be very detrimental to your self-image, your value, your worth. You're like, well, like I said, the question earlier is like, why now, God? Why, why me? That whole mentality of why me? Why is this happening to me? And I don't think that's the right way to look at it. It's like, God, why are you doing this? Not in a sense of why me, but why are you doing this? You're not going to understand. You kind of have to just accept you're not going to understand why, but rather like, what is this for? What is the purpose of why you're teaching me this? Like, God, what are you teaching me?
And how can you grow now that it's over, now that it's...
What can I learn from this experience? It's like either you win or lose. What can I learn from the win? What can I learn from the loss? It's the same. God's going to teach you either way. What did I learn from the good? What did I learn from the bad? And let's continue to grow. And that's really the whole point of, I think, sports too, is like you said, like once you realize your identity is not in the outcome, the result doesn't matter as much because it doesn't fulfill you. Not that it doesn't matter, because you still want to try your best and perform, like you said it best. It matters,
but it doesn't matter as much as like your relationship with God. Yeah.
I said this, no result can ever truly fulfill you the way the desire for Jesus does. Like, our hearts aren't even wired for anything in this world, especially when we're talking about wrestling. When you put so much time and effort into it and it doesn't work out the way you want, it can be heartbreaking. I've experienced it many, many, many times.
Yeah.
I mean, in anything outside of wrestling, even anything in the world, it's like you're going to face heartbreak. You're going to face challenges. But now, leaving the national tournament this year, I've had way more peace than I have the previous years, even though my performance was probably the worst it's actually been, which is tough to swallow that pill of your lack of performance. But when your identity is in Christ, it's much easier to move forward.
Yeah. Okay, so knowing now how the season ended, now you know that you have a 6 to 8 week recovery, hopefully 6. How do you feel about your training this summer and the fact that you don't get to wrestle freestyle, you don't get to go to the US Open, which, how do you feel about that? And how are you going to trust God now that you're not wrestling and now that you have to sit back and watch and recover from this injury?
Yeah. I've been trying to think about that myself. Like, it's only been a week and you're like, oh, dude, it's only been a week. Like,
a week goes slowly
it feels like a
when
long
you're not
time.
Doing anything.
Yeah.
It goes by slowly.
I mean, when you get off the high of a wrestling season, you're training day in, day out for months on end.
And it's just over.
And then it's literally just like a crash and you're just like, okay, now what?
Literally overnight. It's just like, you don't have practice anymore. You don't have anything.
You don't travel. And it's like, okay, a week feels like a month.
Yeah, it really does.
And now I've learned that I can't even work out for however many weeks. I can only walk for
complete rest.
The next couple weeks, I'm only allowed to walk. And it's like, okay, that's a big change of gear of what I've been used to the last 8 months.
Change of pace.
And I think it's a blessing, and I'm trying to process it right now. Is even this last week, the last few days, 5 days, whatever, I've been able to grow in my relationship with God and grow in my relationship with you. And I've already started to form new habits that I'm really looking forward to growing in. And so that's really, I believe, what God is teaching me, is to grow in relationship with him through prayer, through scripture, through conversations, through analyzing myself, I believe, is what this time is going to be for. And I've already seen that. Being able to spend more time together, quality time in our marriage, I believe is going to produce good fruit in our lives, because I don't have to focus on training all the time. That's not my priority right now. It's like, yeah, I want to train, but I physically am not. The doctor trainer said, no, you have to take these weeks off or whatever. It's like, well, it's not that long of a time when you think about it, but you can also just sit on the couch for 6 weeks and rot and, binge however many shows. I could easily do that, but yeah. I realized this time is actually valuable to take advantage of the time I have off, to not just be off. It's like be disciplined in a different way. And building my habits. A goal for me is to continue on these new habits I'm creating for myself, and to basically continue to make an impact in every way and become unrecognizable. That's really a goal, is to become unrecognizable as Christ is changing my life and transforming us to, we're called for more. And so I have a lot of goals that I want to accomplish in this off season, off the mat. I think this is a perfect time to get that jump started and grow there. I don't know.
And how do you feel about not getting to wrestle freestyle this summer?
Yeah, I think it's tough because last season I feel like I didn't get to wrestle a lot of freestyle.
Yeah, it was
because when we transferred.
That was a hard transition time, because right when freestyle season started, we were moving and you didn't have a place to train. So really all you wrestled was at U23s.
I wrestled U23s with 2 or 3 weeks of training. And then after that, I was like, well, freestyle season's over. It's like, dude, really? I just got started.
I love freestyle. I think freestyle is way more fun than folk style. I think it's way more entertaining. It's just more fast paced, and I love watching it.
I agree, but now.
So it's sad that I don't get to watch you wrestle.
Well, it's now the US Open is in a few weeks. Can't wrestle in that because I can't even wrestle by then.
Yeah, you won't be healed by then.
I'm too old for U23s now, and it's like, well, those are the 2 events that they have freestyle, and I think they should really implement a few more freestyle events.
They should, and they should move the US Open to later after NCAA's.
Yeah,
because I feel like nobody wants to do it anyway.
Well, it's a lot of people's college guys' bodies want to heal, recover, and then you have to pick back up and train. It's like, well, we need to push this back a little bit.
Yeah, just a little.
Maybe, who knows? RAF, there's a lot of events every month in RAF, and I think that's great for the sport. So, it'd be cool to wrestle in something like that, maybe, if the opportunity arises, or get asked to wrestle overseas. But, wrestling freestyle, honestly, is so much more fun for me. And not being able to do it, I do hope I get to compete. I'll get to train freestyle this summer with guys. But like I said, once you get halfway through summer, it's like, well, the freestyle season's over. Let's get ready for the college season. Yeah. And it's freestyle is a different reset. So not being able to do it is dang, that sucks. But at least I'll get to watch my teammates and learn from them too.
At least you'll get to practice it, just not compete it this summer. Yeah.
I do believe right now, even though I'm not wrestling, like I said, it's almost like a season of it's like a waiting season, you could say. A waiting season, and that's where you really have to lean on God and trust him. But it's almost like God is reshaping the way I think about the sport. I also believe this is going to be that time to be process the whole season and think about where can I improve, what can I change. And that's where you grow in the off season. Yeah. That's the cliche term, right? Is that's where you build champions, or whatever that they say is champions are made in the off season, not in the middle of the season. And I think that is partially true, but trusting God to build my wrestling, I think, like I said, those the habits I want to create off the mat are going to translate onto the mat when I do come back. And I think that's the main goal for me right now. What is your vision for the next 6 weeks, as I am not really able to train much, and how do you think God is going to grow in your life and grow in our marriage, really?
Well, I think we've been going crazy inside because we are very active people. We are always on the go. We live I like to stay busy. I don't like to slow down. And I think that's one thing God's definitely teaching me is when I do slow down, I even try to find things around the house to keep me busy.
Yeah.
If I'm bored or stressed, I will clean. Or scroll, I'll just pick up my phone. And so just trying, we both have a goal of reading more books. That's a goal. Yeah. We've been talking about it. I brought it up a couple weeks ago. I want to read more books. And I think that, and we both have started reading 2 different books right now and one together. And so even incorporating that into our daily routines, I think is teaching me how to rest and not just stay so busy and overbook myself. And also, obviously I'm not injured right now, so I can work out, which is great. But for you, it's kind of you can't do certain things. So that means I don't really want to do things without you. Yeah. And some of the stuff that we do in the off season, when you're not wrestling, we would go play pickleball all the time. Yeah. We would go for runs. We would
do stuff to be active.
Yeah, we would go do anything because we like to just be going and doing it together. We play so much cornhole in the summer. Yeah. We just like to do that stuff. And so obviously right now while you're healing, we can't do that. Other thing too is the weather in Ohio. I think this will be the hardest part, honestly. The weather's starting to change. It's slowly getting a little warmer. And so once it gets warm, I know we're going to want to be outside 24/7 doing activities. So I think it also is a blessing that the injury happened now, right in March, so that by the summertime you'll be able to train and we'll be able to still go do things outside. But just learning how to really rest right now is probably the most challenging thing for me.
Yeah, I would agree. We talked about reading books. I think that's actually going to be when we're talking about habits, I think that's going to be a life-altering habit that we are creating right now.
Yeah,
because
I agree.
I've said in the past, I don't like reading books. I have never been a big reader unless it's something I genuinely care about that is very interesting to me or something I can learn from.
Yeah, I've probably read in my lifetime a handful of books.
Yeah, me too.
Of my own choice. But there are some books I know that when there's a good book, I will read it. I've read some really good books over the years, and so that's why once I start one, I'm invested and I want to finish it. And then when I get to the end of a book, I forget that I even own books. So then I don't read one for another 2 years, and I'm oh, I forgot I had a really good book sitting over there collecting dust. Let me go take it out. But
another thing I was gonna say, you talked about rest. When I'm at home doing nothing now, you fill your mind with everything. It's I want to do that's also kind of our entire life motto is there's not enough time in the day to do everything we want to do.
You sleep when you're dead.
Yeah, my brain literally just goes everywhere. There's so many different things, so many different projects, so many different ideas, so many things. It's I can't do it all in one day, but I want to. And like you said, filling this time, that space up with, you got to be doing something, It's it's very good to be productive and work on all these things and, continue to build things and basically build your, mind. And
you have to have balance.
But not necessarily balance, just you still need to rest and
well, that's what I mean, balance between working and resting. You still need to have a balance of work and rest.
And I think rest is such a deep topic too. It's well, what does it mean to rest? It's rest could be so many different things, and it's preference for some, and scrolling on your phone doesn't necessarily mean you're resting. You're still consuming. Yeah. And so we've been trying to replace scrolling with reading, and that's actually still tough to do because it's okay, well, I don't want to sit there and read for 2 hours. Yeah. But also being intentional with our time, I think, is kind of what's really important for us. Instead of scrolling, we could have a conversation like this for 20, 30 minutes or, read a book. So those are some great things, great habits we're looking forward to this season of life right now, and how God's really using, the things we didn't plan for good. As one of my favorite verses in the Bible is Romans 8:28, is that God works all things for good for those who love him according to his, and we are walking in that right now. It's we can't really see it all, but even a week ago, I see way more now than I did a week ago. And it's there's this visual I've seen, like, I forget who said it recently, is that like when you're driving, your front window your windshield is way bigger than your rear view mirror. That you don't drive, looking through your rear view mirror, because there's a reason it's smaller, because you can't really see as much. So it's like, why don't we live life like that, right? Why don't we look forward, or rather be present and forward instead of looking in the past? And it's like, even a week ago, I didn't see as much as I do now.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty cool to just
That's cool.
walk in that now. But yeah, I would say God didn't waste this season at all. You could say,
definitely not. You
could say, like, well, what was this all for?
Well, like, there's been so much growth in this. First of all, this wrestling season, it was our first wrestling season together married. Yeah. There was so much growth in that. Your first season at a new school.
New
but
team.
Us together. This season, we've accomplished so much as a couple. You've accomplished so much as an individual, as a wrestler and a husband. And I think just because the result wasn't a national title, that does not mean at all that the season was wasted.
Yeah.
Like, and I like what we were talking about before, is like the difference between in wrestling, like people view it as like literally between 8 and 9 is failure or success.
If you're on the podium, you're successful, and if you're not,
you're a failure. And basically the entire season before is like overlooked, which is so not true, because it's like you have to remember the months of work and the months of great moments like that went into you falling slightly short. Like, that doesn't just get canceled out and make it not worth it.
Yeah.
And so I just think it's been a blessing of a season, and I can't wait to see what God does next season, because
you don't know what God has planned for your life.
Yeah, and for all those people asking if Dylan's retiring, he's not retiring.
Yeah, I don't know.
He is old. I think it's because we're married. People assume that you're a senior, super senior, but he has one more season left, guys.
I don't even have a COVID year. I wasn't in college yet, so I am.
You're only 23, so you're not.
I'm going into my 5th year of college, which I redshirted and then wrestled 3, so I have one more year.
Yeah, so we'll be back next season.
Yeah, but looking forward to what God has planned for us. Even when we don't see it, God is always working, and super pumped for this next season. But thank you guys for hanging out with us, chatting with us. We're going to try and do some more of these, right? Yeah.
Make sure, if you like this podcast, make sure you give it a like and comment and subscribe. Let us know what other topics you want us to talk about, or give us any fun podcast ideas.
Yeah. Any questions, anything you want. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Look forward to chatting.
Bye.
Peace.